This reminds me of the machine Naitibas. Like Belal, for example. It is an AI machine with an elaborate algorithm, but not sentient, who actually does feel fear, at least in the point in the game where we find of Belal, who is basically that complicated AI algorithm machine who has been taken over by that Naitiba corpse. So, which part of that enemy is the part that is intelligent enough to feel something like fear, for example? That is something I've also been pondering. Like, why is that possible? Why is it possible? That's another thing that we never really get an explanation for, besides if I maybe read the description. You know, let's do exactly that. Let's help ourselves. What the fuck is this? Okay. This is probably the DLC stuff, right? This was not here before. Anyway, we're just gonna figure out how that works. Or what that is. Later. So. Naitiba, find Belal. Belial. Yeah, Belial. Fuck. His name is written so badly on the boss fight. It's like the eye is actually just a small L as well. Like it's not an eye. It's like Iliari in like Overwatch 2. Just the eye is also like an L on the name. So everybody says like Ilari, you know, instead of Iliari. But her actual name is Iliari. Anyway, off topic. Orca Aerospace Company Belial type android is a flagship combat robot featuring overwhelming maneuverability, superb defense, and state-of-the-art AI. It served as the sword of humanity on the battlefield, even after being abandoned and forgotten among the rotting Naitiba corpses. So would this be before the final? No, that doesn't make sense actually. Because before the final war, the humanity was already in the research areas, in the Altus places. Or Altus research centers. So this has to be before the second to the final war. So humanity was probably just fighting each other at that point. That's where he was developed, like I hypothesized last time. Belial contaminated in rage and hatred. Contaminated in rage and hatred. Oh, I think I may have just gotten my answer. So, you know how almost everybody, the Legionnaires, as I would imagine, the highly capable like AI robots like Belial, they are probably connected to the network. And the network is obviously held together by Mother Sphere in its center. The Mother Sphere's quantum brain limiter gets fully released later in the game. That's something we learned from Digger. That's why he's so like sentient and self-conscious. So what if that could be partially the reason as to maybe the quantum brain's limiter, aka the artificial intelligence's algorithm that learns and teaches the person who has the algorithm or the AI who has it, maybe that limiter gets just released the same way or disbanded the same way as on Digger. So maybe Belial simply actually did become self-sentient or self-conscious and sentient on top of that. So maybe at first Belial, the robot part of it, was not. The Naitiba part of it definitely was not. But conjoined together? Possibly. Still does not explain as to... actually, no, there is another explanation for this. What if the Belial we fight and see in the game, what if the movements of the this Belial enemy are defined by only the AI on this robot? Because that explains as to why it would be so smart then. And the Naitiba part of it is simply just acting on the most, like, hostile instincts, as this game likes to call it. Because, like, can I take the picture of this off where the text doesn't show, please? Like, what? Oh, there we go. So we can see the picture on it. So see how a big portion of Belial's body is taken, obviously, by this Naitiba. What if the portion that is taken by this Naitiba is simply not intelligent and is mainly being held together and controlled by the half of Belial that is actually the robot part that has gained self-consciousness and sentience? So that explains as to why Eve feels like actual, like, feelings of hatred and resentment in this machine. That actually makes pretty perfect sense. And that probably explains the normal, like, these robot Naitibas that we keep seeing throughout the orbital elevator area of the game. That does not explain that enemy, I just read that. Now contaminated living Naitiba turrets began firing bullets and missiles with wild abandon, causing tragedy with their devastating firepower. You know, on a machine like this, I don't really understand the stuff. I mean, it's probably just a network. It's probably just some algorithm that just does not differentiate from humans or from the androids, and it just keeps firing on anything. And it just so happens that the Naitiba is connected to this robot. But it's mainly been... its AI has mainly been twisted by the Mother Sphere's connection to the network, the outburst that the Mother Sphere had on them. Quantum brain's limiter on these AI robots being released. So they became more twisted in their intentions on what they are supposed to be doing. And that is the reason as to why they attack almost anything, including us. And then the Naitiba just happens to be, like, attached to it. And that's the reason as to why this Naitiba, for example, this robot is, like, melee. It's not, like, actually firing the bullets at us. It's more so, like, just connected to it, just grabbed onto the device. Same goes for, like, these robot dogs as well. Actually, that is a brilliant explanation as to why those exist in the way they do. I'm glad I actually figured it out.